Now, another area of strength for Israel is the enemies, is the weakness of its enemies. Where Israel has a culture of self-examination, its enemies have a culture of shame and honor. Such cultures can be beautiful and they can be exotic, but they also tend to be fanatical, violent, deceptive and self-deceptive, and incapable of making adjustments in the face of reality. This makes them extremely brittle and susceptible to sudden cracks. The upshot is that while Israelis are always making and solving their mistakes, Israel's neighbors are storing up mistakes until they finally become catastrophe. We've seen this, historically speaking, in every fight Israel's neighbors have picked with it. Overconfidence on the part of Israel's enemies has typically bred failure. We're seeing it again today with Al-Qaeda and other jihadi groups. Not content with murdering infidels, they turned their terrorism on other Muslims and are now being shunned in Ramadi and hunted down in Pakistan's Swat Valley. And we may be seeing it also with Iran. The elections in June demonstrated to Iran's people, most of all, the moral bankruptcy of their leaders. Even the Shiite religious establishment has largely turned against Mahmoud Ahmadinejad's regimes, and his tactics have united Iran's fractured opposition groups into a broad social movement, not unlike the Solidarity movement that over a decade succeeded in toppling communist rule in Poland in the 1980s. The Iranian economy is getting no better. Inflation runs about 25%, youth unemployment is sky high, and negative social indicators like drug addiction and prostitution are on the rise. This is a regime waiting to be kicked over the edge. And finally, tallying Israel's strength, let's go back to the subject of Zionism. In 2006, Israel mobilized its reserves for the war in Lebanon. I was there at the time. Astonishingly, the call-up rate was more than 100%. That is, people too old to serve or people living abroad made it a point of coming back to the country in order to fight for it. It's hard to imagine anywhere else in the world where something similar could happen.